Can someone just press record?
Hi debaters, I'm glad to be on air today to update you on the upcoming monthly debating competition this Thursday. I'm your host Richard and today will be an info episode on the topic, format and how you can prep efficiently. Let's dive in. So, this month's competition will happen in the format of the World Universities Debating Championship, or WUDC for short. This format will be based on the British parliamentary debate. For those of you who are not familiar with this format, don't freak out, I'm here to help. I've only been in a UDC competition where my partner Soham and I won 4th place.
It's the opening opposition, team code 800. Please come onto the stage. Congratulations. This is a big achievement. Don't take it lightly. This is a big achievement.
Not bragging. The WUDC is a debating format that includes the British parliamentary debate. Now, this debate is done as a competition between 4 groups with 2 people in each group and 2 groups on each side. To simplify this statement, it's a 2v2v2v2 with a 4v4 at the same time. As you can see on the podium, there are 4 groups and 2 groups are on either side of the adjudicator's table. There are 2 sides in the BP debate, the government and the opposition. There are 8 roles and I will explain each one with clarity so that it's easier for you to debate efficiently. First up, the government. The first 2 speakers on the government side are called the opening government. The Prime Minister, the first speaker of the debate, and on the government side, defines the motion, clearly interprets the motion, and sets the scope of the debate. So, they establish the government stance as they go on to present 2 or 3 main arguments in favor of the motion. The Deputy Prime Minister systematically answers the Leader of Opposition's arguments. They also defend the Prime Minister's arguments against the Leader of Opposition's attack. They also offer more analysis or a new argument that supports the opening government's core case. The next 2 speakers on the government side are called the closing government. The member of government attacks the entire opposition bench, particularly the Deputy Leader of Opposition's material. They also introduce a new, distinct and significant argument, framing it as the most important reason to vote government. So, in short, they rebut opening opposition, defend the opening government, and present 1 or 2 new arguments. The government whip attacks the member of opposition and summarizes all the opposition's failures. The government whip also cannot introduce new substantive arguments. They would compare and contrast the 2 government teams, the opening government and the closing government, and explain why closing government's contribution was the most critical and decisive, ensuring victory for the government and mostly their team. Next up, the opposition. The first 2 speakers on the opposition side are called the opening opposition. The Leader of Opposition is the first person to speak for the opposition and the second speaker in the debate. The Leader of Opposition tries to break the Prime Minister's case immediately. The leader also presents 2 or 3 main arguments against the motion. They also establish the stance of the opposition. The Deputy Leader of Opposition answers the Deputy Prime Minister's new points and continues to attack the opening government's entire case. They also defend the Leader of Opposition's arguments against the Deputy Prime Minister's attack. They also summarize the key clashes and present a clear narrative of why the opening opposition stands victorious in the opening half against the opening government. The next 2 speakers on the opposition side are called the closing opposition. The member of opposition attacks the entire government bench, particularly the member of government's new extension. They also introduce a new, distinct and significant argument, framing it as the most important pointer for the closing opposition side to win. The opposition whip is the last speaker of the entire debate, meaning that their points cannot be rebutted unless a PO or a POI comes in place. The opposition whip attacks the government and summarizes all the government's failure. Like the government whip, the opposition whip cannot introduce new substantive arguments. They would compare and contrast the two opposition teams, opening opposition and closing opposition, and explain why the closing opposition's contribution was the most critical and decisive, securing victory for their side. Now that the roles are clear, let us look at some key pointers that are included in the debate that are important to ensure your team and side's triumph in the debate. Point of information, short for POI, a quick question, statement, or rebuttal, which is usually for 15 seconds, offered by an opposing speaker during the unprotected time of a speech. Accepting one or two POIs is essential for engagement and team scoring. Rebuttal, the act of directly attacking, undermining, or negating an opponent's argument. Protected time, the first and last minute of a speech during which no POIs can be offered. An extension, the new, unique, and significant material, which is an argument, analysis, or mechanism introduced by the closing teams to differentiate themselves from the opening counterpart. Knifing. Knifing occurs when a team in the closing half, closing government, or closing opposition contradicts or proves that a core argument made by their own opening half is incorrect, irrelevant, or harmful to the side's overall case while being relevant to their side's stance and goal. So indirectly, they're trying to make the first half lose while they win, and in the process, they also try to make their side win as well. The first and the last half will not be allowed to collaborate. Rather, both halves will only work within their groups, and the preparation time allotted for the teams will be 15 minutes. Also, the individual speaker's time will be 7 minutes, which is the standard speaking time for a BP debate. Now, for the topics. We gave you all 6 SDGs to prepare, but considering the fact that you only have a week to prepare for, we will give you only 2 SDGs. They are SDG 4 and 8. You can pause the video and read the info slides displayed for 5 seconds each. Who knows, the information may or may not be included in the motion. Now that I have given you a detailed overview of both the process of the debate and the SDGs that you have to prep for, please ensure that you are well prepared, make structured arguments, and be assertive and aggressive. Keep your ears open and be ready for any logical fallacies. Brief and astute POOs and POIs are encouraged. Good luck. This is your host Richard signing off. Over and out.
Let's go! I finished it! Yay!